Hey guys, I'm here with Valentin from Santiment, and they are a data tool, I guess you could call it, kind of like gauging sentiment and volume and analytics on research. It's a really cool project. They've been out since about August of last year, 2017, right? And I think the project launched in October or November, you said, right?
So I joined in October, yeah.
So it's like an analytics program that like investors would use?
Yeah.
And what are the main data points that you're gathering?
So there are, I would say, 3 or 4 main data categories that we collect.
Okay.
So it's the on-chain data, so data extracted directly from the blockchain.
Okay.
We have the social data that we extract from different social channels and do different like volume analysis or sentiment analysis.
Okay.
We also do price and volume from exchanges, pretty standard stuff.
Okay.
And also we have general kind of data that we collect. For example, development activity out of GitHub. Also, we recently did an analysis with Golem, for example. So we take data that they provide about their network and we make some graphs out of it, make sense out of it.
So really, all the data that somebody would want when they're doing their own research, DYOR, do your own research. So all the data points somebody would need, you're kind of collecting.
Yes.
And then you're archiving it, putting it together, and then making a way where we can look at that.
Yes.
Is that about right?
Yes.
So why don't we take a look at this real quick? I don't know if you can look at the screen. So I guess we have EOS right here, which has been a hot coin lately.
Yeah.
And the green line is the price movement.
Yeah.
And I guess we're looking at a 2-year period.
Yeah.
Maybe we want to zoom in on like a shorter period, maybe like just this year.
Yeah, you can change the
like
time frame here.
Say 3 months maybe.
But when you put these diagrams here, actually it's great to see it like the whole picture.
Okay.
For example, we have here the GitHub activity that it's going over time. You can see how the development of EOS has been going on. Some development increase when the price increased. At this stage here.
So it's interesting that we can see here that as development increased right around the same time that the price increased, although it didn't happen here.
Yes, it didn't happen here.
So this is data. Everybody has to understand that data is a tool, and you have to learn how to use the tool, and then you have to understand what this means, right?
Yeah. So the second type of information that could be quite unique and interesting, is the on-chain data. For example, the transaction volume and how this has been going over time.
Now, when you say on-chain, you're talking about like actual wallets. So this tracks
Yes.
volume that's happening between exchange
Yes.
or in blockchain wallets, right?
Between wallets, yes.
So this shows like volume, meaning like, would this be volume out, or this is volume in or out, just volume period?
So this is the volume that has been transacted on the blockchain itself.
Okay.
So this is outside of exchanges. Now this could be a kind of a proxy about token economy that the project is going on. Also, we have the daily active addresses, that you can also see. So these are unique addresses.
So this is pretty interesting how this correlates with the price right here and up to here as well. That's cool.
Yeah. So usually, when you drill down in the data a little bit, so this is our free data at the moment. We also have a closed beta where we have more data that you can drill in. But usually, a peak in daily active addresses also correlates with a peak in exchange volume. So,
but I think it has to, because for the price to go up, that means people are buying it up, which means, of course, that the wallet's going to change. So this correlates perfectly with the timing, but really what we want is early indicators.
Yes.
But anyway, that's cool. And then we have social over here.
Yeah, we have social. So here are like Twitter followers. This is pretty standard stuff. The sentiment part is something that we don't expose so far.
Okay.
We have it like in our staging environment. We're playing with it, looking at data, trying to refine it and improve it and all that. So this is something that we haven't rolled out, but we want to roll it out and actually put staking behind it. So in order to see the sentiment, these more sophisticated data sources, we need to own our token in order to get access to that.
So that brings up a good point. So first of all, who is this geared for? Individual investors?
So it can be used by individual investors, but I would say more sophisticated people that really want to do their research.
So up to like small fund managers or some like small institutions? It's not really institutional grade, right? Or is it?
When we develop a data source, we try to make it real time, real time as it is. Things are going to appear as they happen. So in that sense, I believe that and we already actually had interest from hedge funds that
really?
really want to have real-time data
Yeah.
that comes really timely information so that they can react on this.
Okay. So
yeah.
then how do you pay for that? You need to pay for the token? So do I have to buy the token and then I use the token to pay for the service?
So right now, in the first version, we want to roll out staking.
Okay.
So we rolled out a bunch of data that will be free, to engage people and see what actually we are trying to do. And the next step, which should happen like in the next couple of weeks, we want to roll out data feeds that will be hidden behind staking. So in order to have access to some specialized data feed, you need to own a certain amount of our tokens.
Kind of like what Syndicator is doing.
So you log in with MetaMask, we see how many Cent tokens you own, and then we decide, which data feeds you have access
Now
to.
tell me how the token works. Oops. So the token is used to access the use of the system.
Yes.
So as an investor, if I wanted to buy the token, hopefully the token's going up, which we probably don't want to talk about. There's security, utility issues there. However, people bought the token. I know your token did a nice pop recently. You had the launch of the this new platform, right?
Yeah.
But what makes the token go up in value over time? Is it because people are staking that token, so they're taking that token out of supply?
Well, that could be the case,
Okay.
and as we provide more data, using the token can actually introduce scarcity, because when you develop a really unique kind of data feed, you don't want to share it with the whole world.
Right.
You want to share it with
few
close
people.
a few amount of people, and when you have a token with a fixed supply, then you can say, I'm gonna put the price in such level that I know that only a small amount of people will have access to that.
And do you have a limited amount of tokens?
Yes.
So what's the cap?
I think it's 60 million.
60 million. And then do they get burned as you use them?
So right now in our smart contract, we have functionality where we can have subscriptions, and we can decide to burn some of the tokens that are coming back to us.
Okay.
So we have the option that people will start paying for the service, and at this point we can say, okay, we either put the tokens back in circulation or we decide to burn them.
Right.
So it really depends how we model our token economy. And token economy is something that everybody is trying to wrap their heads around.
Well, that's the
what
big
is
piece,
going to work.
So that's a big piece that we're focused on is the token economics. So I know the average person, although maybe shouldn't be buying this in the hopes to make money off of it, it's really more of a utility token. However, most people are buying tokens in the hopes that they're going to make money on it. And I know Santiment has done really well over time. So we want to understand the token economics to understand that. And so, a lot of people may not be looking to use the platform, but maybe want to speculate on the token. So interesting just to talk about that by any means. But they could buy it, they could stake it, and staking it would unlock certain levels of access, I think is the main thing. So that's it. I think it's going to be a great tool. Having all that data at a fingertip is definitely useful. However, it's like a toolbox to fix cars.
Yeah.
I don't have a big toolbox because I don't know how to fix cars.
Yeah.
So I don't need all those tools. But for the right person, those tools are very valuable.
Yeah.
And so this may have a good fit for some people, but it's definitely an interesting project and we're going to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.